Thank you all for coming. We'll go ahead and get started. So, I'm Stephanie McMahon. I'm the Economic Development Supervisor for the City of Urbana, and I'm also the TIF Administrator. So we are here today for our TIF annual review, and I appreciate all of you coming out. I think this is the first time in 2 or 3 years we've been in person, so thank you. And this is Darius White. He's Economic Development Coordinator. We work together on business development here in the city. And so we're going to share some updates with you as we get through the meeting. So I'll let him get us started here.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 3:01. And we'll do introduction, roll call of all members, starting with Mayor Diane Marlin.
Here. And just housekeeping, to turn your mic on, there's a gray button on the front.
Thank you. Mr. Steve Summers.
Present.
Do we have a township? No.
No.
Okay. Chris Randalls. No. Okay. Kim Gollings.
Here.
And I'm right, last name right? Okay, thank you. Ms. Lori Pearson.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Tim Bartlett.
Here.
Ms. Michelle Wright.
Here.
Dr. Jennifer Ivory Tatum.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, we ask for a motion to be made to accept our public member. At this time, our public member will be Kim Gollings. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Yes, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. That motion passes. At this time, we need a motion to be presented for our chairperson for the meeting.
I would nominate Diane Marlin to chair.
Thank you very much. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. I'll give the floor to Mayor Marlin.
Thank you, Darius. We'll move on with review of the minutes. And is this going to require a vote for approval?
Yes, for
Okay.
both minutes.
So we have 2 sets of minutes. The first is from the annual meeting of Thursday, February 24th, 2022. And the second set of minutes is from the special meeting on Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Moved by Lori Pearson, second.
Second.
Seconded by Tim Bartlett. Any additions or any corrections that you've noticed? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Those are approved. Next item on the agenda is public comment. If anyone is here representing or as a member of the public and would like to speak, please step up to the microphone, state your name for the record, and you'll have up to 5 minutes.
Madam Chair, were both minutes approved?
Yes, we did them out
Thank you.
together. Okay. Seeing no members of the public present, we'll move on to overview of the TIF activities and projects. Stephanie.
I sent you all the link to the packet, which included our annual reports to the state of Illinois, and also a copy of my report. And then after today, I'll add a copy of the PowerPoint to that also. So you'll have all of that information. So we'll just get started. As most of you know, TIF is a popular tool used by communities to increase the assessed value of the property. We use TIF as a tool to incentivize businesses to come into our community, build and improve properties so that the assessed value increases. And then at the end of TIF, hopefully we have an increased tax base that goes back to all of our taxing bodies, raising the value for everyone and more money for the public. So this is just a little overview slide that you will share and put out there just to educate people a little bit about TIF. And of course, the initial life of a TIF district is 23 years. Sometimes those are extended, sometimes not, depending on the amount of work left to be done. We're going to jump right in here with our reports of each TIF district. TIF 2 expired this year at the end of December. It started fiscal year 22 with a balance of $1,886,000, had revenues of $1,687,000, expenditures of $1,306,000, and had an ending balance of $2.2 million. And remember, TIF 2 is kind of that gold donut that surrounds Central TIF. So this year, a payment was made to 5 Points Northwest, which was the development done up there on University and Cunningham. This was a project that was started back in 2005, and the developer built a 15,000 square foot shopping center and facilitated the development of 4 outlots. I think I copied this over and said they still have Credit Union, Panda Express, and Wendy's, and Jimmy John's. I think we have some new businesses there, so I'm sorry, I need to update that. But the building was complete with 18 units, which I believe is mostly full now. There might be 1 or 2.
2 left.
2 left to be empty. So these payments were all made out of TIF 2 with a payment this year of $204,694. There will be 1 final payment. It's already been made by the city, but will be reported next year in fiscal year 23 because it happened in September at the end of the year. Some other activity expenses out of TIF 2 were $168,721 on personnel and contractual services. And then a final debt payment on Boneyard Creek debt service of $933,202. And early in 2022, the city brought forth a proposal to remove a small parcel of property from TIF 2 and add it to Central TIF. This change enabled the Central TIF and TIF 4 to be contiguous upon the expiration of TIF 2. You all met in June and voted unanimously to recommend that change, which was passed by the City Council in August of 2022. So I just included the map there that was part of all of our legal notices that had to go out and part of your packet back in June. And so that did pass, the connection was made, and then prior to the end of TIF 2 closing, funds from TIF 2 were ported over into Central TIF. For TIF 4, which is due to expire at the end of 2025, we had a beginning balance of $3,568,000 with revenues of $1,694,000, expenditures of $711,000, and an ending balance of $4,550,000. TIF 4 goes up Cunningham Road all the way up north to the interstate. Creative Thermal Solutions is a business that we signed a redevelopment agreement back in 2010. They are an air conditioning and refrigeration business. A final payment was made to them in fiscal year 2022 for $119,805. And then Interchange Properties, which is the Napleton's Automark. This was a redevelopment agreement that started way back in 2001 with O'Brien, and then was adopted or passed over to Napleton's, and then a final payment was made to them this year of $136,353. Per intergovernmental agreement, payment was made to the Park District for eligible expenses for $176,319. And then a payment of $151,949 was made to the school district to reimburse for expenditures on vocational training, which is a TIF eligible expense. Other expenses in TIF 4 included $1,270 for legal, marketing, and promotional services, and $126,268 on personnel services. Last year, we showed you the kind of an interim strategic plan that the economic development team has been working on to develop priority areas, and one of our priority areas is TIF 4. So some things we're going to be continuing to work on this year. We still have a goal of putting in another hotel up on the north end of the community with a goal of attracting a lot of people, but mainly trying to take advantage of all those visitors coming to the Rantoul Sports Complex. We've also done some work on trying to attract a travel plaza. There's some infrastructure type issues that may affect that, but we're still trying to see what we can do to get around that. And we're looking to attract franchise restaurants and services that would fill outlots and bring more business up to the north end of town. We also will continue to support small businesses along Cunningham Avenue and expanding businesses, of course. And then as there's only a little less than 3 years left on TIF 4, we're going to be taking a close look at the plan for TIF 4 infrastructure that was planned for this area, beautification, business attraction, to see that we use those funds fiscally responsibly for the community to do the best we can to continue to develop that area before that expiration. Central TIF, which isn't due to expire until 2040, started the year with $121,151, had revenues of $505,152, expenditures of $303,696, and an ending balance of $322,607. I'm going to let Darius talk a little bit about our small business grants.
For our small business grants, since September of 2021, you see a list here in front of you of recipients of the grants. In particular, these were the small business grants for opening and developing grants, which range from $1,000 to $3,000 and had an emphasis, special emphasis on minority and women-owned business. As you see here, you have Roaming Fox Media, The Glitter Box, Arts and Pastries, Beer Culture Barbershop, Cloud Mountain Kombucha, Balderodas, Brow Arch Salon, and finally Ross Studios. And within this list itself, these are all Central TIF recipients of this grant. With that, we've made some changes to our small business grants. Everything is based off of reimbursements. However, we've noticed within our business development and opening grant, we decided to shutter that program of July 1st, 2022. The program itself started in 2013. We realized that even with being able to support of 364,000 and over 100 businesses were supported through that, we realized that there was only a 50% success rate. And that success rate is being based off of those businesses being open for 3+ years. So what we look for is to find a new program that could help not only new businesses, but also existing businesses. So we've created the commercial signage grant program. We're really excited about it. It's now rolled out. It is, once again, a $3,000 matching grant for exterior-facing entrances. We look to provide this for any business within our TIF zone, as well as Philo Road Business District. And as of now, we do have applications coming in. Our first recipient will be Volo Broadband, which is located in Lincoln Square Mall. They will be the first recipient of the signage grant, but we do have others that are in the process, such as Crispin Auto, that is located on Cunningham, and that is TIF 4. So once again, just really excited this will be able to help both new and existing businesses. As well as we are working to develop a small business grant to provide emphasis on minority and women-owned businesses, as well as non-traditional businesses.
And I didn't create a sign for it, but it is in the report that we also, in looking at our interim economic development plan to encourage more restaurants, retail entertainment type businesses on our TIF RIP grant, which is a grant that was up to $25,000 for TIF eligible expenses for businesses within a more targeted area of the TIF. And for the type of business they are, we increase that amount to $35,000 if it fits the criteria. So we're hoping to fill the gaps on some of those type of things we need. And we do have several restaurant spaces available for a new restaurant to move in. So we're hoping to fill those up. So some of the projects that happened in Central TIF, Mike Hosier did some improvements to the property at 401 North Vine. This building, so he would have been eligible for the $25,000, but it's based on a matrix and a percentage of expenses. So based on what he spent and what he was eligible for, he was reimbursed $9,902. This building houses the fencing club on the south end, and a new business CU wholesale on the north end. We also had a business open, and it seems like a long time ago with COVID, but back in 2020, we had interest and an application to open the Firefly Grill, which is located on University. And of course, obviously, he opened during COVID. He was eligible for the program, did updates. He updated the east end of the building into the grill and did open. He had intentions of renovating the west end into a salon. He received the $25,000 grant, and unfortunately, the business didn't make it. So that was unfortunate, but as of this date, Carl has purchased this building, and so we're hoping to work with them on some future development in that area. The Cohen Building, which is on Main Street downtown, Dan Maloney continues to work on that. In fiscal year '22, he received reimbursement of $77,925. He's been working on this for quite a while. Did secure Sakura in that building. It's a great little restaurant. He's still looking for tenants for upstairs and the basement, which he's redoing as a speakeasy and a West Bay. So the city did amend the agreement with him and change the payout. So he will be eligible for some additional payments if he submits eligible expenses in the future for 2023. And we're kind of basing some of those payments over the next few years on if the restaurant stays open. So we'll be tracking the success of that. Some additional expenses in Central TIF. You can see here $14,000 on legal and planning, $28,000 on contractual services, $31,000 advertising marketing, and you can see below this is one of the marketing pieces that was developed and put up at the Rantoul Sports Complex. We're really trying to get into the faces of those visitors since it's a direct shot for them to come down to Urbana. And then $93,000 spent on public art activities. Some things coming up this year. Elizabeth Hunter continues to work on this building at 133 West Main. It's going to be really incredible inside. Her plans are to open a gift shop and a little cafe in the back. So she had already renovated the upstairs of the building. So this should be opening in the spring of 2023. And of course, the hotel, which we're all watching with bated breath. As there was an agreement that was entered into the hotel in 2019. This is, the redevelopment agreement says a minimum $15 million investment. Of course, we're hearing from the developers now that those costs have gone up with supply chain and just everything. I think we all know all costs have gone up. But we had extended their agreement for 1 year during COVID. They came back to us at the end of last year asking for another extension, which the city agreed to. Of course, they cited supply chain issues due to COVID and some labor issues, but the city did agree to extend that targeted opening date to August 1st, 2023. And that would be a total of a 26-month extension from their groundbreaking. We're keeping in close contact with management there and watching development, trying to do some preparations so that our businesses can be ready for that to open, and we'll hopefully see some nice things happening at the hotel very soon. So it's fun to watch. And then what next for Central TIF? In addition to those activities, the last 6 months, our team has embarked on a downtown public realm study, which will be presented to City Council on March 13th, the results of that. We gathered a lot of public feedback on that, a lot of feedback from businesses. We're still finalizing the results of that, but there's going to be a focus on downtown activities, activation. We're looking for ways we can connect the 4,000 plus patrons who come to market at the square to our downtown businesses to try to get more of an economic impact from that. We're taking a look at market rate housing in the downtown mixed use development. And so we'll be finalizing this and budgeting some funds from TIF next year to go towards these activities and activation. We also signed a contract with McKinsey Wagner to do some economic development marketing design work for us. So we'll be working on marketing with them for a downtown destination. We want to have things ready to bring those visitors into the downtown and spend money. And we'll also be getting some new marketing materials for business attraction. which we hope to use more aggressively. And then also some Think Urbana marketing that we hope to use with this design. So watch out for that. It's going to be some exciting new things. We also have talked quite a bit on our team and have a focus on several sites in the downtown that are ripe for development, including the Champaign County Jail site, the Civic Center site, and the School District Building, which I know are for sale, and you guys are probably thinking about those sites too. So I'm sure we'll be having conversations as we look to see what we can bring into those or how those can be redeveloped. So that's our report, and we are glad to answer any questions you have.
Lori?
I was curious about the spending on public art. What, can you break that down, chunk that out a little bit?
Without having the budget in front of me, but we normally spend about $90,000 on arts grants. Some of that comes from general fund, some from TIF. And so we're very careful that the arts projects that are in central TIF are spent with TIF money, and those outside of the TIF are spent with general funds. I would need to check to see if any salary is coming from the TIF, but it's mainly going to those arts grants and arts activities that our arts coordinator developed herself.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, okay. Is that it?
Yep, we just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Tim, seconded by Jennifer. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 The meeting is adjourned. And we'll move on to the Enterprise Zone Advisory Board meeting.
Is there a public? Nope, no public member on that. You can just scoot in anywhere. I'm going to put Darius here on the corner. So. Oh, okay, yep. Oh, great. Kim? Yeah, if any of you don't want to stay for Enterprise Zone, now is your opportunity to exit.
Right, I'd like to call to order this meeting of the City of Urbana Enterprise Zone Advisory Board. It's Thursday, February 9th, 2023. We have a roll call vote, please. Here.
Katie Rowland, or excuse me, Dr. Ivory Tatum,
Here.
Bartlett,
Here. Present.
Ms. Ivana Warner,
Ivana Awana. And
Ivana Awana.
yes, I'm present.
All right?
Here.
Next item is review or approval of the minutes from the February 24th, 22 meeting. Is there a motion for approval?
So move.
Second, Summers.
Moved by Dr. Ivory Tatum, seconded by Steve Summers. Any corrections? Okay. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Next item is public input. If any member of the public wishes to address the Enterprise Zone Advisory Board, please step up to the microphone, state your name for the record, and you have up to 5 minutes to make comments. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the overview of the Urbana Enterprise Zone activities.
Okay.
Stephanie.
First, I'd like to introduce, this is Hillary Ortiz. She was brought on board at the city, and she has been helping to administer all of the many applications we've received from the Enterprise Zone. So I'm very grateful for her help, and she also helped create the PowerPoint today. So she's here just in case we have questions, but I wanted you to meet her because either one of us can help you now with questions on Enterprise Zone. So, as you all know, the Enterprise Zone was designated in 2016 with all of our taxing bodies, and is set to expire at the end of 2030. The Enterprise Zone makes up 9.2 square miles, some residential, some commercial, and some for future planning. just kind of as an update or a review on the eligibility for a business to be eligible for the sales tax exemption of the enterprise zone, and that's where they can get building materials sales tax free, they have to have a minimum investment in their property of $1,000. For the property tax abatement on commercial property, they need to have a minimum of $100,000 project cost. Of course, it has to be located in the enterprise zone and needs to be new construction. For residential, it needs to be a minimum $80,000 project in the enterprise zone, new construction, and this would just be single-family duplex, townhomes and everything. It has to have its own entrance, so mixed-use development for apartments that are not not mixed use. Multifamily is not eligible, mixed use is. Most of our projects receive a 5-year abatement. That's, of course, if it meets all the criteria, where they receive 100% abatement from participating taxing bodies on the improvements made to the property only. Some of our commercial and industrial projects are eligible for 6 years or even 7 years, depending on the number of jobs created. So to receive a 6-year abatement, they'd have to create at least 10 or more jobs, and a 7-year abatement, they'd have to create at least 50 or more jobs. This year, in calendar year 2022, City of Urbana had 70 projects, 7 commercial projects and 63 residential single-family or duplexes. Those projects came to a value of $41.69 million in estimated project costs. The commercial projects, and I'll show you some pictures of some of them here, there were 7 of them. 3 of the local businesses received the sales tax exemption. Hotel Royer, Urbana Solar, and Best of Africa Restaurant. These businesses will not receive traditional enterprise zone property tax abatement because they're located within the TIF district. So they can't double dip on TIF and enterprise zone. As I said, Hotel Royer had updated from $15 million to a $16 million, and I'm guessing those numbers are going to go higher. And then we had some other smaller projects that happened, also Champagne Asphalt. I'll show you some pictures of those we found. Here's pictures of the hotel and some proposed drawings from that. Again, estimated opening date of August 1st. The solar farm, which is a nice project for us, was eligible for enterprise zone also on 54 acres of land. Best of Africa, we already had the grocery store. They've expanded and opened an African restaurant. And Mike Hosier is the owner of that building, and they're making improvements and have made improvements and hope to have more events at this location. And then Champagne Asphalt did a new office build. For the residential side of things on the enterprise zone, for calendar year, there were 63 new residential enterprise zone projects, so 63 builders applied to the enterprise zone project. These are some of the majority of the subdivisions they were built in. Obviously, some were not built in the subdivision. So this was an estimated investment of $20.5 million in new home construction. In our report also, we did check with surrounding the other communities in Champaign County, and for calendar year, Urbana had 69 building permits per new home, or excuse me, fiscal year, 69 building permits for new homes. And as far as the county goes, there were 248 building permits for new homes within fiscal year 22. So Urbana had 28% of those, Savoy 17%, Champaign 18%, and Mahomet 37%. Mahomet's killing it. But it was a great year for Urbana, lots of new homes being built. The contractors are going gangbusters. The other good news is the equal assessed value that was added, and this would have been from projects last year that were added in 2022, was the $21.486 million. So you can see how historically, when the enterprise zone was started in 2016, and then each year that the assessed value went up. So it was a year to celebrate this year. in Urbana. I think everybody was ready to get busy after COVID, so. So we are glad to answer any questions you have. All of this is outlined in the report that's online too.
Questions for Steph? Steve?
I'm just curious, what's the location of the solar farm? I was not familiar with that.
It's up on the north end of town. Do you know exactly, Hill? And if, it's okay if you don't, I can,
On Airport Road and, I think Airport Road.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think Airport Road, if you go up Cunningham, turn right on Airport, I think it's on the north side of the road there.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Happy to see those numbers.
Yeah, it's exciting. Oh, and just a few updates. I know we did just have one builder buy 40 lots near Savannah Green that Hillary's already working with on applications. They've told her they plan to do that build out over the next 2 to 3 years. They're building some spec, and so we'll be watching that. And then I have asked our planners to pull a report to see how many remaining lots there are to build in the enterprise zone, because we might like to do a little marketing to say there's still time. And I think, and I'm going to be analyzing that data, one of the planners told me there's still at least 300 lots that are available for residential in the enterprise zone. So we're going to be tweaking those numbers, and I'll keep you updated. So we still have plenty of room for more building.
Stephanie, can you say that again? How many? 40 in Savannah Green?
They bought 40?
40 lots for like small family, do we know? Or is it going to be,
You know the estimated
Like
pricing,
short-term?
like range?
They did not provide that information at this time.
but actually for not kind of what happened in Stone Creek with the short-term leasing, these would be like for actual
They'll
family?
all be single-family homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do know, as of a couple of months ago, about 70% of the lots that were remaining in Stone Creek have been sold. So that construction will show up in the next year or two.
So that, the bill could affect your school districts.
Yeah, in Savannah Green, definitely.
Well, please keep us posted as you hear things, and we'll hopefully keep everybody building. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Steph and Darius and Hillary.
Training her in everything.
Oh, right.
And she's wonderful. She's been a great help to all of us. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hill.
You need me to do anything?
No?
Oh, yes, we do. Could we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That motion is approved and this meeting is adjourned.